everyone! Welcome to day 5 of the Explore Meditation 5-day class. How are you doing? It's so great to be here with you again today. And I hope you've been finding the practices really helpful. I've been really touched by the comments I've been seeing. It really seems quite extraordinary. Some of you say that you've never experienced such deep states of meditation before, and for the first time you're actually feeling calm. That's incredible. And yeah, like the things you've been sharing with me have been really profound and touching. So thank you, and thanks for diving in. Thanks for taking these practices and being curious of mind to explore with them and play with them, because it's such an honor to have students who do that and are willing to play and are willing to see how to make meditation really work for them. So thank you. I salute you. This is wonderful. First things first, we have giveaways. So I think we're gonna do 2 giveaways, and it's gonna be for people who did homework. So I'm gonna actually get you to help me pick. I would like 2 numbers from the audience, please. I have everyone here by number, everyone who's done homework. So put 2 numbers in the chat. I'm gonna take the first 2 numbers I see in the chat, and it's a number from 1 to 11. Waiting for a number. If you don't give me a number, I'll make it up in about 10 seconds. So just put a number in the comment. The giveaways are fun. You should put numbers in the comments. Alright, I'm gonna pick number 3 and, 2 and 11. Thank you, Tom. Great. 2 and 11. 2 is Lynn Sanderson. Congratulations, Lynn. Lynn has been following along on YouTube. And the giveaway, every person who wins a giveaway gets to choose what giveaway you want. One of them is full access to the World Tour of Meditation. So that's like 23 really amazing interviews over like 23 hours of content in there. And the other giveaway that you can choose from is, well, either that, or you could do a 40-minute one-on-one session with me. So that could be around meditation or some kind of energy work or some kind of coaching. It's a lot of things I do. So your giveaway is a choice between the World Tour of Meditation Access and a 40-minute session with me. Now I have a whole lot of numbers pouring in. So gonna give one of them is to Lynn. And I'm gonna go with the second number that was shared by the second person. So I'm gonna go with number 4. Number 4 is Tom. Well, Tom, number 4 is you. Congratulations. So you and Lynn both win giveaways, and just write to me later and let me know whether you want the World Tour of Meditation or whether you want a 40-minute one-on-one session with me. Congratulations. I hope that's exciting. And you know what? At the end of the class, I'll give away a 3rd one. Cool. I'll ask you for another number at the end of the class. That's not... Yeah, congratulations, Tom. Woohoo! Make sure to email me, or do I have your email? I have you on YouTube. So I can get you either the World Tour Meditation or a one-on-one session. I'm excited, and so hang in there. At the end of the class, a 3rd giveaway. It's so nice giving away. This is fun. I should do this more. Thank you for receiving. Happy full moon. The energy is just extraordinary at the moment. My mom's in the other room chanting with this live cast massive yagam fire happening in India at this temple where my guru is, and it's kind of cool hearing her next door. So that's that on the giveaways. And what else did I want to say before we jump into some practice? I'm starting an 8-week meditation class. You're so invited to join. It would be lovely to journey with you. It's going to include weekly Zoom classes, replays obviously in case you can't make it or you want to rewatch something. There's going to be downloadable meditations that you can keep for life and listen to, a new one each week. I'm going to find a way for everyone who signs up to provide supportive community. So I'll either create some kind of Facebook group or some kind of membership forum where we can all just communicate, share things. And then there's a 4th aspect to the class. Oh yes, Q&A calls. So I've been noticing that the comments that you've shared, either with Christy And by the way, if you want to write back to her, account got disabled, so write to me instead, and I'll reply. But I've been noticing the comments that you've shared there or in the homework threads, and some of you have actually called me up and shared some things, but the comments that you've shared and the questions that you've raised are actually extraordinarily profound. And the thing with the journey of meditation is that one person's experience is very different from another person's experience. One person could be experiencing like light and love and bliss and angels, and another person could be feeling like as though they are suffocating underwater, doing the exact same practice. And so even though the experience is so different, that the questions that are raised and the kinds of answers that come up to them are so beneficial for everyone else to hear and listen to, but also so particular to what is going on for you in that moment. So one thing that I think is really important to bring into this 8-week class that starts next week on June 10th, one thing that's really important to bring into that is that personal guidance, that access, so that we can all learn from each other and share those experiences and have questions answered. So in addition to the weekly Zoom class with the recording, in addition to the community space so we can hang out and chit chat and get to know each other outside of the classes, in addition to the downloadable guided meditation recordings that you can keep forever, there's also going to be bonus Q&A sessions. I'm thinking, depends on how many of you sign up and where in the world you are, but I'm thinking probably 2 sessions for half an hour at different times during the week so that it covers all the time zones. That's what's in my mind. Let's see how many of you sign up. Maybe we'll need more, maybe we'll need less. So join me if you want on that. Invitation is open. 8 weeks. It's basically 8 classes plus 8 meditations plus a bunch of Q&A plus the community space. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a really good offer and a good deal. It's going to be $120 US for the 8 weeks, or 2 payments of 67. I think that's reasonable. I hope that is for you. If for some reason you really, really want to come and you're not in the position to be able to contribute in that way, just write to me. We can arrange another way to contribute, because everything is energy at the end of the day. So fantastic. I hope you'll join. Link is below, and if you want to look it up, the link is also bit.ly, bit.ly/explore meditation 8 for 8 weeks. So there you go, bit.ly/explore meditation 8, and we start next week, and it's going to be fun. Great. So that's all the bits of excitement and housekeeping and what's next. Now let's look at what's present, what's here, what's now. So just check in with yourself right now. Notice how you're feeling. Notice where you feel sensation in your body. Bring your awareness to your chest center, this place of the heart. It doesn't need to be off to the left, this place of the energetic heart right in the center. And actually place your left palm over that chest center. And as you breathe in, let your awareness really focus in the center of that palm. Let your awareness really coagulate in the center of that palm. And as you breathe in, let your awareness descend from that palm towards the very center of your own energy generator, of your own heart. The thing that powers your body, that powers circulation, flow, love. The thing that powers your whole electromagnetic torus field. Breathing in, you might see the heart expand. Breathing out, what can you soften? What can you let go of in this second? And breathing into the chest, the heart. Breathing out, what can you soften? What can you let go of? And a third time. Very good. So you can either stay with that, or you can open your eyes and stay with that. One of the questions I received yesterday was around a lot of discomfort and pain coming up during the meditation. And, the question was around when we do the day 3 practice, the breathe, relax, feel, watch, allow, when you're doing that feeling, that all of this, I just remembered that this question came from someone who asked me to please turn off my clock. So I'm gonna do that right now. Hang in there, I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Actually, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Here's my clock. I really like it. It's got an owl, it's made of yew wood. My mom got it for me on the Welsh coast in Aberystwyth, and I find the ticking of a clock really soothing, but I realize not everyone does. So the battery's out. So the question that came up was around, what do you do when deep-seated things come up and are triggered? And when you start to feel like really like you're suffocating or closed or compressed in a practice, what do you do with that? Are you supposed to sit there and watch it? Are you supposed to allow it to be? Like what really is that watching and that allowing after the feeling? Like, is it meant to be a difficult practice? What is it that's going on? And I think the answer to that really depends on what it is you're experiencing, where you are, and what state of mind you're in. Because sometimes experiencing something really deep can bring up a lot of things that are ready to maybe be felt and be expressed. Things that are maybe highly traumatic, things that we may not even have a memory of. It could bring up all of these. But then, are our nervous systems ready to handle it? Are our nervous systems ready to integrate? And I think that's really something important to keep in mind, this concept of titration. You want to go and drink from the fountain and let your body integrate. And drink from the fountain again and let your body integrate. Because when you don't do that, you might drink a whole lot from the fountain, and then suddenly your body could be like, and spent. So Swami Kripalu, I mentioned him a few classes ago, my yoga teacher's teacher, who practiced one version of this for 10 hours a day in silence for 10 years, seated in lotus posture. And he had this Kundalini awakening. This fire rose up through him, and he didn't have someone to necessarily guide him through each step of that, but he understood what was going on in him. And his descriptions of it are actually, they don't sound pleasant in the least. And he says it's because his nervous system, his body's nervous system, couldn't keep up with the amount of prana that was rising up. Prana being energy, life force, chi, Kundalini when it's moving up. His body couldn't integrate that at that time. So that notion of titration is really important, which is why whenever you go for any kind of energy work, healing, this, that, they always say drink water. Drink water and rest. And those are things that support the integration. So in the context of what do you do when you're doing a meditation practice or a contemplative practice or some kind of shamanic work practice or some kind of ritual practice or any kind of consciousness practice that brings you into a more aware, altered state. When you're doing anything of that sort and something huge and massive comes up, what do you do with that? Titrate and take care of yourself first, because you don't want to push your nervous system. That's not a good idea. You don't want to push your nervous system. Just titrate, go back and forth if something huge comes up. You can go deep into something. There are situations where that's appropriate. I would recommend you do that if you have a specific guide or teacher or healer or therapist or someone with you in that process, because sometimes things can come up and staying present for them, like when we are riding a wave of whatever it is that's coming up, it's harder to see our perspective. It's harder to see, well, what is it that's happening? Am I really staying present with this? Or am I like spinning off and spiraling into stories and this and that and all of these things that are just spiraling me away from the process? And it's actually really hard to actually figure that out when you're going through it. It's possible, but it takes a real sense of discernment, and so it's good to have a guide around it in those kinds of situations. So if something massive and major is coming up, please titrate, come back, breathe, and allow the nervous system to settle and integrate. Yes, feeling things that come up does heal them, release them, and move them, but you want to do that in a gradual process, in a process that's easy for your body and your nervous system. I've been on a permaculture course this week. You might remember I mentioned that in one of the videos, and I'm dipping out of it again. And I'm delighted I get to dip out of it and be with you. So thank you again for being here. But one of the questions we were asked for homework by our teacher was, what color, why is the sky blue? You know, why is the sky blue? And you know, I was like, diffraction. But it turns out that actually the sky isn't blue. The sky is actually, this is what I learned on the class. I haven't like triple verified it or anything, but it turns out the sky is actually violet, because you know the red lights get absorbed and the blue lights get scattered. But it's not the blue, it's the violet that gets scattered. But our eyes don't see violet the same way as like some other animals' eyes do. And so what we see is blue, but actually it's violet. Whether that's true or not, I think the story is like, wow. And I think that sense of what is it that's our truth, what is it that we see, and what is it that can be, what else is true, that space of discernment, that space of navigation takes a certain kind of experience. And again, that's where I say, you know, when you're going through the midst of something that is a massive feeling, or something massively deeply stored coming up or loosening or releasing, it's kind of hard. It's helpful to have other perspectives. It's helpful to have guidance. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, this is what's coming up. So that's one of the things I wanted to speak to today. Are there any other questions or experiences that you'd like me to comment on or speak to from what you've been feeling, practicing, learning over these last few days? Sandra says her calendar said, how could women ever possibly do too much? You know, quite easily. Barbara says, congrats. Love and light to everyone, Claudia. How could women ever possibly do too much? Quite easily. And men too. I mean, anyone. And the thing that I'm speaking to there is the doing part of it. Yeah, the doing part of it versus the being part of it and the letting it unfold part of it. So let's play around a little with that today in meditation. Let's do a little bit of doing, and then let's be a little bit of being. And then we can go back to doing a little bit of doing and being a little bit of being, and then you can experience the difference yourselves. Actually, I believe someone commented on that. Maybe it was Tom. I don't remember whose comment it was, but about how they did the Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing, the channel purifying breath, for like 20-30 minutes. And while they were doing it, you know, they were tired, their hand was tired. I think this is my memory of what I read in the comment. It might not be exact. And then after that, they felt calm. And so, again, the doing, the being, the doing, the being. So making sure to be is just as important. And I think 99% of the time in the society and cultures, in the societies and cultures that we are raised in, conditioned in, working in, we're not reminded that the being is just as important. So yeah, there we go. If there's no other questions, we'll jump into a little practice. Fantastic. So let's start with some doing. So let's rub the hands together. That's a doing. There is the intention, there is the will in there. Let's actually take your hands out to the sides. Don't know if you can see me fully. Maybe I move this back. Take your hands out to the sides and then raise them up and let them go back down. Inhale up, go back down. Once more, inhale up, go back down. And again, inhale up, go back down. Great. And then we move to the breath. And your eyes can be open or closed. I'm going to close mine. And imagine a square in front of you and focus on the square. And as you breathe in one side of the square. You hold the breath for one side of the square. You breathe out for one side of the square. You hold the breath for one side of the square. You breathe in one side of the square. Hold the breath one side of the square. Breathe out one side of the square. Hold the breath one side of the square. Breathe in one side of the square. Hold the breath one side of the square. God, this reminds me of doing push-ups. Breathe out one side of the square. And hold the breath one side of the square. And continue. Continue focus on the square. Continue the will of binding the breath with the focus. If you have questions, pop them in the chat. Otherwise, do it at your own pace, at your own speed, but directing it, focusing on that square. So I find it hard to remember the square unless I'm tracing it out. I just fall into being if I'm not consciously tracing it out. So I'm going to trace it out. Some people find it helpful to count numbers with it. So you could count 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're tracing this square. Now let's change up this practice a little bit, yeah? Let's just change the pattern. So we're going to breathe in 2 sides of the square, breathe out 2 sides of the square. So it becomes more of a circular, continuous breath, no holds. And in fact, focus on the continuousness of the flow. Sometimes when you breathe, sometimes when one breathes, we can focus on the pause, the moment between the in-breath and the out-breath. Just this lovely liminal point. It's like the perineum. It's divine. But that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is focusing on that divine flow, the movement, yeah? So the breathing in and the breathing out. Almost like it's circular, except instead of a circle, we're tracing a square. And the next time you come to the origin of your square, just drop the practice. Just let your normal breath be. Just let the normal breath be. And now let's come back to the doing. What's going on? Let's come back to actually stay with the being for a second. I have a technical thing to sort out, so just stay with the being. Let your normal breath be. Just let your normal breath be. Now we'll come back to the doing. So this time we're going to use our hands again. We're going to clench fists. I don't like clenching fists, God. But we're going to clench fists. And you're going to squeeze our hands together and squeeze your face. Squeeze your hands together and squeeze your face some more. A little bit more, tighter, tighter, tighter. So this is the last chance you have in the entire world to squeeze your hand and squeeze your face, because you might never get to squeeze your hand and squeeze your face ever again. And let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. So another example of doing and being. And just observe what the differences are there for you, yeah? Sometimes the doing can be, I don't know, what's it like for you? Tell me. But for me, sometimes the doing can be effortful, unpleasant, focused, calm. Yeah, the doing can be all those ways. And then the being sometimes can be calm. Sometimes it's usually just the feeling of spaciness. Kind of hard to find words. Sometimes it almost looks like I'm looking beyond the veil of what I see. Yeah, the doing and the being. I had a third idea of what we do and be. Right, the breath, the hara breath. If you're menstruating or pregnant, I would advise you to do this very gently, or not to do this. And yeah, everyone else, just we're gonna breathe in and we're gonna make the sound ha, okay? Like Santa Claus, ha ha. Well, I guess Santa Claus says ho ho ho. But the hara breath is like a very ancient, powerful yogic technique. Claudia says the doing brings pleasure to the being. You know what I've discovered as well in the last couple of days? I don't always remember this. What I've discovered as well in the last couple of days is that the being can bring pleasure to the doing as well. Really just being. Because I think I spent like 2-3 weeks pretty much being and doing nothing. I didn't reply to a single email. I didn't do anything. I was just being. And then now suddenly all the doing is just like, cool. It's as fun as sitting down and being. So yeah, the doing brings pleasure to the being. Very much so. And the being brings pleasure to the doing. And so that balance is important. The balance between the yin and the yang, the doing and the being, the left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, the black and the white. No, that was a terrible example, given the considerations of this time. Any other kind of duality. So yeah, the doing and the being. So let's go back to the hara breath. And what we do for that, the doing in that, and it's important to note that they aren't binary, that they coexist, the doing and being at a particular time. They can coexist. But yeah, it's helpful for our minds to conceive one and the other. So let's come back to the hara, and it's breathing in through the nose, and it's out sort of from the belly, with a ha sound. Ha! And when you're actually doing this, it's a powerful ha, and the belly can actually just contract a little bit, so it's in, ha, in, ha, in, ha, ha. Any questions? Lovely infinity symbol. Any questions on the hara breath? Good. If none, let's do that maybe like 10 breaths. 10 strong, powerful breaths, and then we'll just be for a bit, chill out for a bit, yeah? Ha! 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 And pause. Notice what you feel. Notice what comes up. Now, since we've been talking about the yin and the yang, the infinity, the back and the forth, the doing and the being, I'd like you to actually imagine the symbol of infinity, or the figure of 8 on its side. Imagine that lemniscate. One end of it, one loop of it inside of you, and the other loop of it just outside your body. Equal sizes, one inside and one outside. Perhaps moving out towards the front. Maybe it's coming out of your, wherever it is you see it or feel it. One loop inside of you, one loop outside. And as you breathe, one loop is the in-breath, and the the other loop, the out breath. The in breath and the out breath. The in breath, possibly inside of you, and the out breath, tracing the loop outside. One loop and the other loop. In this continuous movement from the inside to the outside, to the inside, to the outside, to the inside, to the outside, to the inside, to the outside. Again, that doing, that being, that balance between these two worlds. The in-breath, the out-breath. The willing, the receiving. Two sides of that same coin. Two sides of that cosmic dance. Tracing that symbol of infinity. With your breath. Your breath, that companion from beyond infinity that has come to you, that is with you. Mary Burmeister, one of the custodians of the art of healing, Jin Shinjutsu, has written somewhere that when babies are born into this world, the first thing they do is actually not to cry. The first thing they do is to receive a breath. They don't take a breath, they receive a breath. And then they cry. Where does that breath come from? Who is it that gives that breath to you? That breath that comes from beyond the veil. Enlivening your spirit, enlivening your body. Moving forever on that path, on that map of infinity. you to rediscover that path of infinity, allowing you to rediscover that map to infinity. And perhaps serving as a stepping stone, that you may know that you are infinity. That the consciousness that creates universes moves in your being. That the grace to create flows through your channels. That the intelligence of life exists, bees in your cells. And the more and more you rest in that space of being, the more effortless the doing becomes. The more and more you rest in that space of being, the more effortless the doing becomes. So again, that in-breath and that out-breath. That map to infinity. The yin and the yang. The right and the left. The black and the white. The heavens and the earth. Spirit and matter. And just coming back to a deep, sincere focus on your breath. Coming back to a deep, sincere focus, gently with your breath. With the knowledge that the map of infinity flows through your lungs, through your energy centers, through your body, every moment. With the knowledge that you are of the infinite. Can you, for a moment, let yourself rest in that experience? whenever you are ready, complete, whatever that means and looks like to you in this here and now. Rub your palms together gently, perhaps a little more vigorously if you feel inspired to. And then just place those warmed up palms on your eyes, that you may see clearly. That you may know clearly. Thank you so much for joining today. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining today. I have no idea what the time is, because I've taken down my clock. It's 8:50, okay. Oh, it's a bit over time. Sorry, I had no idea the time. Any questions, comments, feedback, anything you want clarified? Okay, you're very welcome, Debbie. And if anyone feels like posting another number, if I get more than one number, I'll just average them. Wow, the space between being and doing is where healing and source resides. You're very welcome, Tom. Christine, so nice to have you here. That moment between the in-breath and the out-breath, those pauses are so sacred. Yeah. See you all in the mail. Hey, we do have some bonus classes. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, same time. 3 more days. No particular planned curriculum. I think there was some curriculum I had in mind for these 5 days, but the next 3 days I'm just happy to take any Q&A and maybe guide a meditation if you show up. So that's the next 3 days, same time, some bonus classes. Will be fun. So I think I got a number 7 and now I have a number 5, and I am gonna close off the numbers right there. So I'm gonna average that to a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 would be Uma Iyer. I don't think she's watching live, but I will get in touch with her. Congratulations. Oh, another 6. I will get in touch with Uma Iyer with that offer. So thank you all very, very much for joining me. I don't think I have a particular homework on today. You know, if you wanted to do a piece of homework today, I would ask you to reflect. We did 5 related but really quite different things. They built on each other, but I think each of them was quite deep in itself. So I'd like you to reflect on the last 4 pieces of homework that you did, which was, I forget day 1's homework now, which was picking a tool, a friend that you want to deepen and thinking about how you want to deepen it, and you shared some extraordinary things there. Thinking about that, experiencing that, the the breathing, relaxing, feeling, watching, allowing practice, and how can you learn to just incorporate that into your life. And my mind is a bit blank at the moment. Happens after I meditate. So reflect on those pieces of homework and see, I think the next piece is a piece of integration. The next homework is a piece of integration. So see for yourself where they come together for you. What it is that you want to take forth from there. What is the gem, the seed, the roots of the tree, the germ, what is that germinating seed? What is that seed that's been cared for and nourished in these last 5 days so far that is really sprouting? How do these different 4 bits feed into it, and where is that going? So those are some thoughts. If there was a homework assignment around that, and I'll post a thread, the homework assignment is to reflect, see what is germinating for you, and ask yourself, okay, where do I want to take this forward? How do these pieces tie up together for me? And you might not know the answer to that. And if you want some guidance or feedback on that part for you specifically, yeah, come on the Q&A tomorrow or day after or Monday, and I'll see you there. I really hope you join me on the 8-week journey because it's going to be fun and it's going to be more of this, but also I want to try out visiting different parts of the world or traditions from different parts of the world. I don't know if I'll do it in the 8 weeks or just in something more general after that, but I definitely want to try it out in the 8 weeks, like meditation traditions from different places and what can we learn from each of those. So it's very much nascent, so whatever it is, whoever joins, whatever your wishes are that you bring to it will form the course completely. But it's something I've wanted to teach for, gosh, 3-4 years, so yeah, I'm really excited to embark upon it. So I really hope you join, and yeah, if you like, the link to register is there, I'll send it out. Registrations for that will close on Tuesday night at midnight Pacific, and then we'll start on Wednesday. And I plan to do this meditation class, this 5-day class, with some bonus Q&As again, just so you know. You can come back tomorrow with your last pieces of how do these threads tie up, Daksha. You can come back with that to me if you like. But I plan to do this again in a couple months and then do another 8-week stint after that. An 8-week sprint of being. So, but join me this time, because this time it's nascent. It's like wet clay. We can shape it however we want. So that would be really fun. And I'm happy to make it work for you in any way that feels appropriate. Claudia says nose breathing is helping and shared a nose emoji. Thank you for the nose emoji. Nose breathing is really powerful. Yeah, the nose, the mouth. There's so much to the breath. There's like worlds to the breath. The mysteries of the breath could be the study of hundreds of lifetimes. Adair says the biggest value she's noticing this week is, oh, wow, I've been able to be closer to my vulnerability, closer to my heart, open and available to myself. Such a gift. You are a gift, and your heart, thank you for sharing that, and I am really happy to hear that. That proximity to vulnerability is such a gift, as you're no doubt experiencing and discovering. And you know, something I learned recently was that our hearts are beautiful. Our hearts are beautiful, like extraordinarily beautiful. And you know, we lay them out on the streets for nothing and let people trample over them and then get hurt and this and that and then close it off. But our hearts are extraordinary. It's like this giant gem, and that's what your heart is. So yeah, it's to even glimpse that is, I'm gonna stop playing with the battery, to even glimpse that is, yeah, is special. And I'm really happy that you've been able to find that place of vulnerability. And thank you, Claudia, for sharing those 5 hearts. Honestly, the comments that you've all been leaving have been very inspiring to me. I didn't expect that 5 weeks on a fairly intro class could be that deep. And thank you for going with me on this journey, because I almost always never know what I'm about to say next. So thank you. I'll be on tomorrow, Sunday and Monday, answering any questions, playing around, bring anything you want, free for all. Like sort of like a workshop Q&A space. No planned curriculum. And then on Tuesday, register for the 8-week class if you would like to, if you feel called to. And if you want to invite anybody, any of your friends, invite them. We'll make it work for all the time zones. And then, yeah. And then I'll see you there. Maybe, if you join next week on Wednesday. And in all ways, breathe the change, as Claudia says. So thank you very much, and see you again over the weekend. I'm glad that you've learned a lot, Debbie. All right, bye-bye.